Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Performing Coaches. I am Aneri Bellamy, your coach's counselor, and I'm here with Scott. Scott has graced us with his time on today, and Scott, I really appreciate that. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, and I'm excited to be speaking with you, and excited to share with the audience today. Looking
Oh, I
forward to
absolutely love it. Now, as you guys know, I always have a chat with my coaches, before we actually get on the interview. So I'm super excited about what Scott's going to share with you today. I can only imagine. We've had great synergy so far. So let's keep it going. So, Scott, tell me, who is it that you're purposed to serve?
I'm purposed to serve the person that is not created the ability or had the ability yet to see the genius, the greatness, what I call the God-given ability inside themselves. And what happens is they've listened to people in their life. For me, it was during school, and believed a lie about who they are or what they can do or what their value is that they bring to the world. And so I serve the person that is struggling with that is not living out who they truly are. And so that could be a young executive, that could be a solo entrepreneur, that could be a woman entrepreneur in her first business. It comes in a lot of different forms, but I'm really looking for the person that doesn't see who they really are and then live that out in their business, their career, their work, as far as that goes. Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And believe it or not, I used to be your ideal. I
I
used to
know.
be the purpose person you were purposed to serve. I did. My mentor literally had to pause on all the business stuff and just
Yeah.
start working on the personal side of me. And what he
Yeah.
used to tell me to say all the time is, I am enough. He's like, repeat after me, I am enough. So I had to get past those roadblocks in
Yeah.
order to, really show up and be who people needed me to be. But it was like, how can little me, right?
Yeah.
I've never left the city I lived in. I'm a mom and a wife, but how can little me do big things? So yeah, he had to get past that piece in me. So I can definitely say it makes all the difference in the world in your success story.
Yeah.
Everybody's purpose to do something, right? You have
Right.
yours, I have mine. It's just getting over that a personal roadblock.
Yeah.
And I love being very transparent on these interviews. So I can definitely say I had those roadblocks. There was a point in time in my life where I didn't think I was enough to do what it
Mhm.
was I desired to do. So I really appreciate people like you, taking that and running with it and actually helping people like myself
Yeah.
who have greatness inside of us and, need to get it out and share it with the world.
It brings me great joy because of my own personal journey of discovery of that. And I know that it is so important for people.
Right.
And when you see that turn and when you see that them lean into that and live into that, wow, it's such an amazing thing to see the transformation.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah. It was amazing. The people around me, they kept saying, "What is going on with you?" Because there was
yeah.
a different me showing up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and it's interesting. It affects, your whole life.
it
I
does.
always tell people, you may have come to me, in your career or as a business owner or whatever, but this will help everything in your life. And so that's
Mhm.
exciting to see that.
It
Yeah.
is. It's your core, right? It's what
Yes.
makes you function. It what makes you who you are. So now, to have such a big purpose in life, there has to be something about your story that
Mhm.
that made you who you are, right? So tell us, what is it about your story that gave you this purpose?
Yeah. So my story began in first grade. And a couple of months into first grade, I realized that I wasn't learning the basics of reading and writing like my friends around me. I grew up in a very small rural town in Oregon, and I knew that something was different, that I wasn't getting it. Long story short, the teacher didn't know what to do with me. I was severely dyslexic. They didn't even know what that was at that point. In the 60s, the schools weren't equipped to handle that the way I learned. So my teacher just sat me in the corner, said I was a dunce and I was stupid and I would never be anything and just stay out of the way. Okay, so that was somebody of authority in my life, and I was taught to respect people of authority. So I started to believe the lie that I would never be able to do anything, be anything, and that I just needed to stay out of the way. But here's the interesting thing about it. I shut off who and what I could be, the greatness that I had, my ability. But in doing that, I put all my attention on people around me, and I started to be able to identify, label, and call out their greatness. So I turned myself off. I was like, okay, I'm not here. And I would watch you or talk to you or see you do stuff, and I'd go, man, you're fantastic at math.
Right.
Like, and then as school went on, I realized, okay, that you could be a doctor, you could be an attorney, you could do this, you could. And so when I was in school, that really is how I navigated it, even with my teachers. Subconsciously, I would say, you're really good at teaching history. And, this is what I learned today. Well, a fifth grade kid doesn't do that with a teacher, but because I didn't see any value in myself, I desired to see value in other people, or I wanted to see that. And in that, I learned this ability innately to really deeply encourage and help people uncover their greatness. So then I took it into sports, and we were very successful in sports, the teams I played on, because I was like a coach on the field or on the court. So I knew that my friend Hans was really good at playing defense and doing this and that. And so on the court, I would actually tell him, to go here because that's where you could do really well, or we're going to run this play because that's a strength of us together. And we had huge success. And so that's how I navigated life. Now, I didn't and was never told that that was a skill or something of great value in school, because it wasn't the way the school system was, because that was about taking tests and memorizing facts and reading and comprehension, all that. Well, I wasn't wired that way. So I got out and I realized that I didn't know what to do with myself. Now, luckily, I was blessed to meet a girl at 18. We dated for 3 years, and now we've been dating for 43 years and been married 40 years. She started speaking love and goodness and calling out in me the genius that she saw. So that led me to go, well, I'm not going to do the academic path. So I'm going to start a business, because that's what people do that don't have that academic background. Well, I started maybe 10 or 11 businesses in my 20s. They all failed. Okay, so like it just failing. I learned to fail really fast, because in school, I got a lot of D's and F's. I failed really fast. But I've also learned through that to get right back up and go, what did I learn from that? And how will that help me next time? So we failed through that. We finally, through people telling us, I got into a business, or I got a license. I became an insurance agent. And because people kept saying, I think you'd be great at doing insurance. I was like, well, that's a problem, because you got to take a test and you got to go to school. Oh, I'm like, oh my
Right. It
God.
counts me out. Right.
Yeah. But my dear wife, she believed that that's what I should do. And a lot of people prayed and encouraged it. And I passed and I got into that. And I realized that through a couple of circumstances, that to be successful in that business was really about building up people, really about helping people to use their God-given ability to go out and do, and to recruit and hire and train people and motivate them to be the best version of themselves. And by doing that, we started with $100 at our kitchen table, and within 5 years, we were number 3 in the country at selling that product. And another 5 years, we were in 42 states. We had about 4,000 agents, and we were doing better than we could ever imagine. But what I learned And what I started doing was, your genius is this. So I'm going to give you all that responsibility. I'm going to pay you to do. So I surrounded myself with all these people that have all these different talents and abilities. And we were able to build this team that really became like the industry leader, based on me as the leader going, your genius is this. So this is the job that you can do, and stay in your lane and go do that. And you'll feel fulfilled. You'll accomplish great. You'll do these things. And so I discovered that actually in the world that there's great value in being able to help people uncover, discover, get rid of the lies, that they believe, the programming, and exchange it for the truth of the greatness, the abilities, the things that they have. So we call it the great exchange. So I help people go, here's the lies. What are the lies that you've believed? And then we get those down, we bring those out, and we talk about it. This is very emotional for people because they've never really confronted the truth about the lies. And then we deal with them, and then we throw them away, or we flush them down the toilet, or we tear them up, or we burn them, whatever. And then we say, okay, but what is the truth about you? What are your God-given abilities? What are your talents? What are the things that you can bring to the world that nobody else can bring? 8 billion people, only you can bring that.
Right.
And then we start to reprogram that. And as they do, their whole life, their marriage, their relationships, their spiritual life, their career, their business, everything gets better because they're really being who they really are, which is this amazing person. And when you get rid of the lies and people start to lean into who they really are and start to live that out, wow, things happen, transformation, insights, miracles happen when we do that. And so that's the story of what we do. And now we advise, consult, coach. We were laughing about this earlier, whatever you want to
Right.
call it.
Right.
But we help people of a lot of different walks to take that journey, and then help them do that within their family, their organization, their business. And we haven't worked in 10 years because we get to do this all day long.
Right.
And I love it. And I have extreme passion about seeing people be the best version of themselves, wherever they're from, whatever the past is, whatever the circumstances.
I love it. I love
You-
it. And so
yeah.
I know that this is going to be good. So I'm preparing myself because I know it's going to speak to me as well. This last and golden question. And that is that person you purpose to serve, that
Mhm.
the old version of you and me
Yeah.
crosses your path. And it's
Mhm.
your one and only opportunity to make an impact or transformation in their lives. Speak to them right now. What would you say to them?
Yeah. What are the lies that you're believing, or that you've believed, or that you've taken, that other people have put on you, that are holding you back from the greatness that you have in you? And are you ready to deal with them? Are you ready to do the deep work of uncovering those lies, and then dealing with that, and then exchanging or reprogramming, to use the current word, reprogram this this mind that you have to what the truth is, and then go and live that out, and live your best life, both in your personal life and your work life, and go do that. That's the person I'm looking for, that is to the point of frustration or fear or doubt or stuck. Like I do hot seats all the time, and I say, where are you stuck? And I'll have a group of people, and then what we call is getting unstuckedness. It's not really a word, I just made
Right.
it up. But I help people get unstuck. And it could be just one thing, one lie that they're holding on to. Like, we'll do all this work, and then this person is like,
Right. Right.
you see them holding on,
Yep.
and you're like,
I was that
what
person.
going on there? So a lot of times we have to go back to their childhood and go, when did you first start to believe that lie?
Right.
And what is the truth, and who do you believe speaks truth to you about who you really are, why you're here, what your mission, your purpose is, what your value is to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're just going to go and build that truth, like you were saying earlier, through programming, through talking. Our words have so much power, but we have to say the right words, right?
Right. Right.
So if we're saying a lie, then we continue to believe that and we go down that path, and that's not where we want to go. So we have to start to change the language, the beliefs, and instill and install the truth, and then see the possibility and help people to start to dream again about what they can be and what life can be and who they are and what does that make possible. And your story's beautiful. You're actually this story,
Right.
over the last 8 years, what you've done and what we talked about. So like, yeah, that's what I would say to that person. And those are all different kinds of people.
Right.
Like that
Right.
was
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I was talking last week to a young entrepreneur woman in Nigeria. She's 32 years old and she has a tech startup in Nigeria. And this was the conversation we had.
Right.
And I'm like, that's so cool because Zoom really is my airline. I go everywhere and I can
Wherever
do,
you want to go. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
anyway.
Yep. Yep. I was in Israel at 9.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know?
It's cool. Yeah, it's really
So
cool.
thank
Yeah.
you so much, Scott, for your time and for your priceless value that you added. And I know that when someone hears this, they're going to say, "Oh my God, he's speaking to me," and they're going
Mhm.
to want to continue that conversation with you. So how do they do that?
Yeah, if you just go to confidencecoach.org, you can go there. There's a tab. I do free hour consultations. And we were talking about this earlier. My initial work with people is free and is really to serve them. I am not the coach or the advisor or the consultant for everybody, but who I am for, it's amazing, and I love that. And so that's where they would find me, and you can find all the information there. I do write quite a bit, even though I've been dyslexic my whole life. I've learned to write. I love to express that way, but my gift really is to deeply encourage, help people make the exchange from the lie to the truth, and then help them to live their best life, both at work and at home. And it's a pleasure. And you're amazing. This was so much fun. So I
You're
love it.
amazing as well. It was the synergy before the interview. I was like, let me hit record. Let me go, because you could tell we could chat all day, right? And we would
Yeah,
never
yeah,
get the interview done.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, so Scott, again, thank you so much. I'm not going to close this out as if this is the end of this conversation, because I have a feeling that we'll be chatting
yeah.
and talking a lot more after this. But as far as the interview is concerned, we really appreciate, again, you adding value to high performing coaches and the impact that you're going to leave on the lives of those who listen to this. Thank you again.
Thank you for this. This was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.